working in Bellwether, and this
Yes.
is like one of your prototype called
Yes.
Volar.
Both are prototypes, both fly, and we flew them a year and a half ago. Yeah.
When your company appeared, just like a newcomer.
So actually the company was founded in 2019, but the journey is much longer. It started in 2013 with 4 of our founders. In 2019, they had a much more refined version of their vision, which is some part of what you see here. So the company was formed in the UK in 2019, but the journey started from 2013. So we've just been quiet for 2 years and watched every 15 totally full-time and 18 in total.
And who are they? Engineers, designers?
So about
where did you get them?
50% are engineers and 50% are any other service.
That looks very like future already appeared. That's very great in design. What about technical? What is inside?
So right now what you see is 40% scale. We're building a full scale currently. We'll be ready with the full scale by 2023 at some point, hopefully for Dubai Air Show. And so we've flown this in scale format, and obviously some parts of the values do change, but yeah, we're expecting a full scale by 2023. Given that
How many
this is
engines here?
We have 4 on this. We'll have approximately 8 on the full scale for redundancy, 4.5 scale because to test proof of concept. Yeah.
When do you appear it can fly inside of London?
So I think a large part of our journey is to have this vehicle in small scale application by 2028, and we want to sell and go to the consumer by 2030. Which gives us a 9-year window to actually work with regulators, operators in different countries, work with EASA.
Regulation is the hardest one.
It's incredibly important because we're not an aircraft entirely in terms of our size and what we look like, but we're not a car also. So
it looks like a Formula 1 car.
Yeah, so we're sitting in an interesting sort of space where I need regulators to understand that there's a different future and to start regulating for different types of vehicles.
For example, if I want to drive this aircraft, do I need an aircraft license or it will be made automatically?
So initially, I mean, the vehicle is going to be fully autonomous. The goal is in certain areas where airspace can be managed and regulators give us approval, we will reduce the levels of autonomy to give you the experience. I don't want to put you in a Ferrari and not let you drive it.
Okay. You made a scale like 40%, and had the scale already flying, or it's like only a scale?
No, it's flying. Both fly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's flying outside or inside?
So initially indoor, and we're flying a couple outdoor right now, but we're not ready to release that yet. But yeah, we've flown both.
As I understand, you're a startup, so you're looking for venture money. And what is your stage, like seed or pre-seed?
So, I mean, we raised the initial from Angel about $1 million, and now we're looking at the next stage to bring us to full-scale development, and then a subsequent stage after that. We understand that it's a long term, so any investors or venture capitalists that we would like to work with are people who understand the importance of the vision.
And what is the price for your total company?
So current valuation,
approximately
pre-seed is
okay. So you get like about 20% for investors. Get those money. What can you do?
Initially, I think with the first phase of investment that we will receive, we're looking to expand to full-scale development by 2023. We will also expand the team in terms of very specific skill sets that we need for this. There's no standard for developing these types of vehicles. So it's very important for us to get people who are passionate and hungry and teach them and help them kind of explore as much as possible to build something of this sort. So little by little, of course, we'll expand testing facilities, R&D.
Technical advantage of your prototype?
I think the most technical advantage is its size, honestly, because today's cities are built with respect to your cars and not your planes.
So the size on a regular car, like
so
regular
this is 6 meters by 3.2 meters in width. So it's slightly wider than a Rolls Royce and slightly longer. Okay. So the entire idea is to respect the dimensions that your cities. To have a plane with wings and a very large wingspan limits from going A point to B point, versus something that's far smaller, far more compact, and with all your internals actually hidden away and nothing exposed. There's a perception of safety.
What about safety? What happened if, for example, engine stop?
So on the full scale, we have redundancy. So obviously we're adding more fans for redundant electrical failures. We have a battery redundancy where our power source is actually split from the main to a backup. at independent formats of safety in aerospace and in automotive, because one, the design is different and it allows me, the chassis, the monocoque is actually designed and engineered. At the same time, on an independent level and on the fuselage level, I can have different formats of safety.
How many hours it can fly
exactly.
without rechargeable?
So we're not looking at kilometers, because when you're flying, you're not restricted by
minutes.
roads. Yes, so we're looking at minutes and time. And essentially, our estimated goal for the full-scale production ready is an hour of flying time within a city, which should allow you to complete 6 journeys of 10 minutes each, or subsequently 10 journeys of. It's about how efficiently we use that time. Our goal is to also equally use automotive infrastructure for charging and eVTOL infrastructure. So we want to be compatible with both, because we have the ability to land on ground, on a building, on a skyport.
For safety in the air,
yes.
Do you develop it by yourself, or you want to use theirs?
The vision of changing your lifestyle can't be done alone. And we understand that. We work with collaborators in infrastructure, in systems, and in mobility as well, to build an ecosystem that will function along the lines of what our vision says it is. If I take air traffic management, you have current airspace regulators who will need secondary services of air traffic management when traffic trebles next 2 years or in the next 5 years. So we're looking at how we can cater to that, because we also need to propose a solution of how we can manage it.
Okay.
Right? Today's people are used to maybe a Google or an Alexa inside your room. If you were able to expand IoT, smart objects, and smart cities, the situation where your buildings are integral to airspace management, because they can communicate with your vehicles and subsequently geolocate where they are, and the more conventional sort of aspect of having vehicles talking with vehicles as well. So how we're looking at building the infrastructure and the systems along with it.
What do you think about 2021 in your opinion? What happened in the world
in 2051?
Yeah.
Given that where we are today, we have the ability to make decisions in a way that we haven't done it before. The decisions we make today will impact the transport of 2035, then subsequently impact the transport of 2040. So if you're sort of trenching it and you're saying 2030 you're going to have the first flying cars, right? Then you can only imagine that the accessibility and opportunity to access this sort of flying will become more and more regular. So by 2035 it becomes more accessible in terms of price. By 2040 it becomes cheaper, and a lot of other people are developing.
So what happened in 2051?
In 2051 we don't have cars. Whatever we do right now will impact 2051.
What other spheres? Maybe biology, bacterial, or something else? Not only air mobility.
No, I think everything is going to get better, obviously.
What about chip inside our brain?
That is possible,
Maybe.
But I don't want it. I mean, the possibilities are limitless. I think it's our job as startups, OEMs, manufacturers, suppliers to be responsible about how we make our decisions in order to have that future for ourselves and future generations as well. Because they're going to have to deal with a lot of the problems that we're already dealing with anyway, right?